Hi, I'm Ollie Templeton. I am now one half of Carousel, so I run it with my brother Ed. And previously we were running Carousels, four of us, with my two cousins, Anna and Will, who left before lockdown. So I'm a chef. I've been cooking for 11 years professionally, and then kind of 5 years before that at home. And Carousel is a place where it's like a restaurant, it's an event space. We invite guest chefs from all over the world and collaborate with them. I spend a lot of my time inviting them, traveling myself to go and find them, cooking with people, and just kind of creating great experiences here. Aside from that, at Carousel, we do lots of different kinds of events, experiences, working with different brands, kind of bringing their kind of dreams and their visions to life. But yeah, my focus is mainly in the restaurant. So I moved to London when I was 18. I grew up in Spain, so I got into food through, I guess, living in a hot country. I had a garden, I grew vegetables. I really loved growing vegetables. I still grow them now. And I really enjoyed that connection between growing something and cooking it. And through that, kind of getting creative at home, not really knowing what I was doing. When I moved to London, I started working at a restaurant called Morrow. Before that, I actually did a year at a cooking school called Leeds, which was good fun. Worked at Morrow, which is a restaurant in Farringdon, which I also loved from when I was kind of 16. I had all their books, and always thought that I wanted to work there. So when I did work there, I was like, I'd kind of achieved what I wanted to do in the beginning of my career, and I did that for 2 years. And that kind of whole ethos and style of food is still kind of within the DNA of what I do here and what we do here, kind of making everything from scratch, cooking over open fire, fermentation, even like things like making bread, and cooking honestly, and also just kind of, the way that you're treated and you're kind of part of the family. So that is actually my whole career. Like as a chef, I just worked at Morrow for 2 years, and then an opportunity came to work with my cousins, and we started Carousel. So short and sweet. So it's quite funny talking about lockdown. So I was very kind of naive to it, I guess, because of the nature of our business. We invite guest chefs from all over the world. We had a guy from Mexico with us when it was early February, so the first 2 weeks of February, like coronavirus was the thing, and I'm like, nah, it's not gonna reach it, like it's all good. And he's starting to kind of freak out about it, but we're really busy. The restaurant's full, and we'd been full every single day of the year, like from January through to March, so like 3 months. But we'd had like one of our best years to date in terms of how busy we were, and things are great. And we kept the momentum going. He left. He had to jump on like an earlier flight home, finish on Saturday night, flew on Sunday morning back to Mexico to get there in time. And then the next guest chefs that we had were two people from Tokyo. They were cousins. Sushi chef, Sojinori chef, like cooking Buddhist Japanese food, and his sister, who is a cookery teacher. And they were calling me, and they're like, "Shall we come?" I'm like, "Yeah, come. Like, of course, come. Like, it's fine. London's busy." And this was like on a Thursday. Friday and Saturday we had like 30 cancellations and 40 cancellations on the Saturday, and the restaurant was empty. And we're like, okay. And they were in the air at this point. I'm like, okay, the whole landscape's changed. They landed into what was basically the UK going into lockdown with a return flight 10 days later, and we had to book them an emergency flight home, cancel 260 tickets, close the restaurant, send all of our staff home, and literally go into lockdown. I actually myself caught coronavirus, so I went like into like a proper lockdown. Didn't even get to see them. I had to kind of just like leave, and yeah, it was super surreal because I just went home. I took my stuff. I actually didn't take my stuff. I just went home because I couldn't come in. and I had to wait a month and a half before I could like pick my laptop up and stuff. Because I got it, then my brother who I lived with got it, and there was like no real contact with the company. Like I was just with my brother Ed, just scrapping to sort things out. The chefs here were like pickling and fermenting and preserving and drying all of the ingredients that we had and filling the freezers. Yeah, because that's the other thing, we had like all of the stock in from, we'd ship stuff from Japan to do the menu, like rice and vinegars and stuff. So yeah, so it was super surreal, and then that was it, we were closed. Right, so, and then in that time we were kind of figuring out what to do. I got involved with this charity, Hospitality for Heroes, which was founded by friends actually. Right. And it started off with a video. So I had a lot of time, and by now I'm coronavirus free. So, and Carousell's totally empty. We're not doing anything, and London's in full lockdown. And they were getting chefs to make 1 minute long videos. How to put a recipe together on Instagram. Something that people can cook at home to kind of get people doing stuff. So I did that. Yeah, posted it on Instagram, they posted it, we started chatting more, and then they're like, oh, like we started talking about using this as like kind of a hub to cook meals for the NHS. I'm like 100%, like I've got a whole team who are locked up in their houses, who really want something to do. So we started it small. We did 100 people. We only did Thursday and Friday. We actually only did Thursday and Friday for the rest of the time. We did 100 people a day, and we did that. What we wanted to do was like really kind of not just make a big batch of risotto and send it off. We wanted to like make food like we cook at Carousel, like for our paying guests, but with donated ingredients. So we were kind of really pushing the boat out. We were preserving things. We were making and we kind of created a structure of a menu which we just apply every week depending on what came in, and then we kind of adapted it. So yeah, we started with 100 people and like 4 volunteers, and after the second week of doing the same, we upped it to 200 people a day, and got 10 volunteers, and then after 3 weeks we upped it to 300 people a day, and we had like 15 volunteers, and we had a pastry team, and had like lots of friends in the chef restaurant community coming in, regular guests who love Carousel volunteering their time. So it ended up with 50 volunteers on the books. I was working harder than I ever have, to be honest. Like, it was really mad. Like a full Monday, we would only cook on Thursday and Friday, but like Monday was just organising the teams, like the rota, who can work when do people need to be here, what do you need to bring, and then working with the charity to make sure we had like gloves, face masks, cleaning equipment. It was like really, really serious to be like socially distanced then, and to be tidy and stuff. So that was a real big thing. Obviously still is, but back then it was like even more so. And people were still kind of really freaked out about it. And then Tuesday we would put in an order with the charity, and it'd be like, when we order food here, it's like, I want 5 kilos of Vesuvio tomatoes, the ones from Italy. And now it was like, I want 400 kilos of vegetables, 200 kilos of fruit, and 100 kilos of pulses. And then whatever comes. And then we'd have to come in, organise it all on a Tuesday, write the menu, come up with the recipes, split the teams up, like write prep lists. And then on Wednesday we'd do a big prep day with like 15 people, get everything ready. Thursday we'd have to have food ready for 3 o'clock. And then the couriers and the vans started arriving and taking food off to different hospitals. So yeah, it was like an amazing, really fun experience. Wow. And it kept us so busy. It was a 6-day-a-week job in the end.
Unprecedented.
Yeah, and we did it for 11 weeks. Yeah, so yeah, and I think we made like 28,000 dishes or something in total over the time, which is probably more than what we do in like a year in the restaurant. But actually, that's an exaggeration. But yeah, we were feeding 600 people a week in 2 days, and in the restaurant we feed 240 people in a week. So we
It's
like tripled our production.
Without you realising where it was going to lead.
Yeah. So it kind of just like progressed, and it was really, really fun. It was an amazing experience. So I would 100% do it again if we went into lockdown. Maybe keep it a bit more low key because it.
Yes.
My favourite place in London is Nonhead Reservoir. So I went there over lockdown. It's actually not allowed in there. There's holes in the barbed wire fences, but it's amazing. Like you have views of the whole of London, and you're up on a big hill on top of a reservoir that's covered underground, and you can go there and listen to music and have a picnic, and it's like a few other clusters of people watch the sunsets over London. Yeah, I discovered it during lockdown whilst like exploring things to do. So that's a recent favourite. My favourite thing about London is the diversity of it, and because it's and why? Because it means there's so much to do. There's always something going on, and you notice it when you kind of are away from it for a while. Like there's just like loads of really interesting things, from like really amazing nature that I've like recently been going to like Epping Forest and stuff to go foraging. Not allowed to do that either, so to go and look at mushrooms. And then you can kind of come back and have Vietnamese food, or go to a nice pub, or before lockdown go and listen to amazing music and gigs. It's a diversity in just like of what it has to offer, and that's because of like the people that live here. So yeah, that's definitely what kind of keeps me staying year on year. I love in kind of the Whitechapel area of like the kind of very Victorian part of town, and like the contrast between modern and new. So like in Whitechapel on Fieldgate Street, which is where Tie-Ups is, there's at the end of it is a Victorian bell factory where they fabricated the bell for Big Ben. No, it's a clock factory, so they fabricated the clock for Big Ben, and it's like a really interesting building. So I always tell people that fact when I walk past it. It's calm, it's loud, and it's fun. Yeah.